What is up, sexy beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be doing the top 5 most memorable weapons in zombies, so let's go ahead and get this shit started. So I did the top 5 most forgettable, and I thought it was only fair to do the exact opposite, and we're going to have a couple rules for this list. Number 1, we have to at least include one gun from every single game, so everything from World of War to Black Ops 1. Number 2, we're not going to have any wonder weapons in this video, mainly because that's going to be for an entirely different list. And lastly, I just want to say just because a weapon is on this list does not mean it's shit, does not mean it's the greatest weapon in zombies. It does not mean anything other than the fact that I think as we go into new and new zombie games that these weapons will be the ones that we actually remember when we think back to the old games. So taking the number 5 spot is going to be the Haymaker from Black Ops 3. Now in all honesty, you could put any Black Ops 3 weapon on here, mainly just for the fact that when it comes to zombie games, Black Ops 3 is the newest one, so it's kind of hard to say which weapons are going to be remembered the most. I just picked the Haymaker because it's one of my favorite weapons, and when it comes to shotguns in zombies, we really don't have that many like badass shotguns. I mean, we had the Blundergat, which is like the wonder weapon of the map, so that really doesn't count. And in Black Ops 1, all the shotguns in that game were absolutely garbage. They really couldn't do anything on high rounds. Yeah, the Spaz was okay on early rounds, but once you start to get up there, it didn't carry enough ammo, and it really wasn't that powerful. And even in World at War, the trench gun was an okay weapon on early rounds, but as you got to higher rounds, it really stopped working. So we really haven't had too many great shotguns, and that's why I kind of just put the Haymaker on here. It really stands out as one of the best shotguns in zombies, and I definitely do think when we go into new zombie games that we're going to look back and say, hey, do you remember the Haymaker? Man, that thing was awesome. Alright, so taking the number 4 spot is going to be the Galil from Black Ops 1. I definitely do think, like, when you think back to Black Ops 1 weapons, this is one of the ones that stand out, and it's just one of the, like, defining weapons of Black Ops 1. I really don't know what it is about this weapon that people just seem to love, and honestly, it was a tough call if I should put this or the Commando, because both of those weapons really kind of just define Black Ops 1 zombies, but I eventually went with the Galil mainly because we actually brought it back from Black Ops 2, so that kind of gives the Galil a little bit of an advantage. And I have like one just strong memory of the Galil back in the day on Moon, when like that map first came out. We were all in the biodome, and somebody was hacking the box trying to get a weapon he had, and he hacked it once, which basically respins the box, and then he hacked it again, and when you hack it again, you don't respin the box, like whichever weapon's there, you basically just refund your money, and anyone can take that weapon. So he hit the box the first time, it was something shitty, and then he hit the box the second time, and it was the Galil, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna take that, and then he hacked it. And this was like when Moon first came out, and I didn't know like once you hacked it the second time that anyone could pick it up. So I just walked up to the box and started holding X because I wanted to hit the box as soon as he grabbed his weapon, but I ended up stealing his Galil, and he got so fucking pissed. He was yelling and screaming at me. He was like a 13-year-old back then, so that's kind of acceptable, I guess, from a 13-year-old on Call of Duty. But he was so fucking mad that I took his Galil, and he was just yelling and screaming at me, and then he even rage quit. And I don't know why, but whenever I think about the Galil, I just get that memory, and I just gotta chuckle to myself and just think, God damn it, that's your average Call of Duty player right there. So taking the number 3 spot is gonna be the War Machine. So first, I just want to apologize for not having any like actual good footage of it. I spent like an hour, I don't want to say an hour, like 30 to 40 minutes trying to get this weapon from the fucking box, and it just would not give it to me. So unfortunately, you guys get some round 50 footage of it. But the reason I put the War Machine on here is because whenever I think of Black Ops 2, the War Machine is one of the weapons that just comes to my mind, mainly just because of how fucking bad this goddamn weapon was. It was absolutely atrocious. When you shoot the grenades, they just go everywhere. There's no accuracy with this weapon. It's all just straight luck. You basically point and shoot and just hope the grenades kind of go in the direction you want them to go. And without PhD Flopper, this weapon is just a death trap. Those grenades could come straight back at you, damage you a little bit, and then a zombie can come up and stick his finger up your pooper, and then the next thing you know, the zombies are having an orgy all over your dead body, and that's not something you want, man. But that's just like the main reason I think the War Machine will always be remembered. It's just because it was such a bad weapon, not just like damage wise, but just even usability. It was so terrible, and there was no PhD Flopper. This is definitely one of the worst weapons in zombies in my opinion. And that's also why I definitely think it's one of the most memorable, and we're never going to forget this weapon. Just like the SMR, this weapon will go down in zombies history. It was a tough call if I wanted to put this or the SMR here, and I ultimately decided that the War Machine belongs here just because I think the War Machine is like 10 times more shittier. Alright, and coming in at number 2 is going to be Mustang and Sally. So I definitely do think Mustang and Sally is not only one of the better weapons in zombies, definitely one of the most memorable and will never be forgotten. Mainly just because when we first figured out that you could upgrade your starting pistol into Mustang and Sally, everyone fucking lost their mind. You have dual-wield explosive pistols. Back in Derice, when you actually upgrade your starting pistol, you get the C3000 biatches, and it was an okay gun. It wasn't the world's greatest, and it wasn't the most powerful, but when we actually got to Black Ops 1 and we figured out we had dual-wield versions of that, we fucking lost our mind. And I remember like playing Kino and just everyone always upgraded that starting pistol for like the first 2 or 3 months of that map's release, or I should say that game's release. Everyone always upgraded their starting pistol into Mustang and Sally, and it was hectic back then. There was no PhD flopper with Kino, so everyone's just constantly shooting explosive bullets all over the place. You really could never see anything because there was just always fucking smoke everywhere. And high rounds really didn't catch on yet. Like, high rounds to like the average zombie player was around like 30 to 40, so people back then really didn't understand that Mustang and Sally wouldn't work on high rounds, and we just all thought it was like a god weapon. So that's why I think Mustang and Sally is definitely going to go down in zombies history, just because it was such a new idea, a dual-wield explosive pistol. Now, it really wasn't like an incredibly new idea, but to the zombies community, it was pretty new, so that's why I put Mustang and Sally at number 2. And taking the number 1 spot, did you even have to guess which fucking weapon was going to be on here? Of course, it's going to be the PPSH. This weapon is just always going to be like the weapon of zombies. Whenever you think of zombies, you're probably going to think of the PPSH at some point. This was the fan favorite weapon back in World at War. Back in Black Ops 1, there was never a theory that didn't involve the PPSH being a wall buy, and even in custom zombie maps, there was always a wall buy PPSH. There was always a way to get the PPSH, and in Black Ops 2, I still remember hearing some fucking rumors and theories about getting the PPSH. And also in Black Ops 2, I just remember everyone asking Von der Haar and Zelensky, hey, can you give us the PPSH? And then even in Black Ops 3, we still begged and pleaded for the PPSH, and then we finally got it, only in one fucking map. I'm still kind of pissed off about that, but we actually did finally get it for Black Ops 3. So that's why the PPSH is number 1. The PPSH is definitely the most memorable weapon in zombies and will never be forgotten. And honestly, if we don't see it reappear in future zombie games, gonna be kind of pissed off, just a little bit. Actually, okay, maybe a lot. But that has been this top 5, and I'm very curious to know, what is your guys' top 5 most memorable weapons? It could be completely different from my list. Everyone has their own opinions, and everyone remembers things differently. So if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Peace.